very long relationship with the V&A. It's a very special relationship, and there's always been a very dynamic programme of activity. This year won't be any different from any other. We've got a whirlwind day ahead of us, so I'm going to be quite brief. I'd like to introduce Carrie. Where's Carrie? Oh, Carrie, hello Carrie, from the V&A, who's just going to talk briefly also about the activities they have in the museum. There'll be plenty of time for us all to chat over the course of the day, and I hope as many of you are able to stay with us across the day, because there's some great projects and installations to see this year. Thank you.
Everyone, thank you so much for coming to LDF at the V&A Preview. So this year we have curated a program spotlighting global cultures, and we have 8 projects across different parts of the museum exploring how design shapes spaces, fosters rituals, and brings us all together. We have a very strong focus on diaspora designers this year and emerging designers as well, who revisit their rituals, heritage, and family history as inspirations. There are lots of material investigations from leather, wood to clay, which are all integral part of the narratives. And the V&A Contemporary team, led by our senior curator, Manisha Kelly, has curated a very special live program tonight to celebrate the launch. So please come back to the museum if you have time tonight from 6 to 9 to enjoy the music, dance, performance, and workshops which activate all the works in dynamic and interactive ways. So last but not least, I would like to thank you, our program managers, Fonsha and Adonis, for their support, and colleagues from all departments from the V&A, from curatorial, press, marketing, and frontline staff, and also for all the designers for putting all your heart and soul into this installation. Our sponsor, Bridge of Weir, Leather, and Muirhead for the installation in the Medieval and Renaissance Gallery, and LDF team for the support. Hope you will all enjoy the tours. Thank you.
I'm going to invite you first to just think, if you could choose one image from your phone that gave you a sense of belonging to make into a unique print, what would it be? And that is a question that was asked to people across 7 countries who took part in the workshops that made this. So each one is a unique screenshot, a screenshot that shows the filtering of your intimate relationships through the mobile device, and is then rewound through the history of photography and made into a unique print. So we basically optically transferred from the image on the phone to a glass piece, which is specifically made for the project at sim scale, through a portable darkroom, mobile darkroom, tabletop darkroom designed for the project, to make a print. So it goes through an analog process. So each one is unique, and specific to that moment in time because of the chemical makeup. The idea of the SIM card emerged. And the idea is the project brings people together through those common tools of the digital and the visual, and bring back the magic of analog photography, which is what I started out doing. People may have heard about the Stockholm Barge, which is moored just outside Portland, the island. And I was there last week for a festival where
collaboration with Studio Bark. This is Nick Newman from Studio Bark, a London-based architecture practice. The display aims to highlight how designers and architects are becoming involved in designing peaceful structures for protest, and the focus of this display is design, really, and how it enables activism and intervention in the built environment afterwards. So over to Nick.
Thanks everyone. So sorry you had to hear me over the video in the background, but this display started as a dialogue around the acquisition of an object for the museum's collection. That object was three of the boxes of these wooden modular boxes that you see behind you. They were designed by Studio Bark, the practice that I work for. They're called U-Build. And specifically what we're talking about here is a moment in 2019 with the rise of Extinction Rebellion, where the practice gifted these designs to Extinction Rebellion, and they were modified by a group of architects and designers who were interested in protest to create modular roadblocks. So designs that could be assembled by a crowd into a public space and used to occupy space and to prolong the occupation of that. So following the discussion and the successful acquisition, we also discussed a book that I've recently written and published with RIBA called Protest Architecture, which talks about structures like the boxes, talks about how design has been used throughout history to support protest movements. It's the kind of retelling of the history of protest through the eyes of an architect. And two of the structures that we were perhaps interested in exploring more here was that of the barricade. So it's very evocative. It's probably the biggest or the most obvious structure people would think of in connection with protest, the French Revolution. And we wanted, the V&A's brief was for us to create a barricade between the permanent architecture exhibition and the landing here. And at one point during the construction, we did actually fully barricade the wall, but we've since taken it down for wheelchair accessibility. So you can see that the boxes, much like kind of giant Lego bricks, can be used to create many different forms of structure. And in October 2019 in Trafalgar Square, there's a picture behind you. You can see where they were used to create a tall tower, which I was standing up on top of at one point, and also stages and various different kind of forms of platform seating for the crowd. So that's one element. We also see here what's called the beacon, or there's two beacons here, balancing beacons. These are designed using tensegrity principles, so principles first sort of popularised by Buckminster Fuller and his student Kenneth Snelson, and they were modified by architects and designers again during 2019 for a number of different actions, for HS2, for Extinction Rebellion, for Animal Rebellion, a number of other structures throughout the world.